What's up, everybody? Welcome back. Hope everybody's having a great day or night whenever you're watching this. The Philadelphia Eagles offense looks like it has completely flipped the switch. Looks like 2022, if you're being completely honest with me. And I like what I'm seeing from them. And there's some comments that have come out recently from some very notable players on that offense that are they're very enlightening, and it makes sense, right? Because they go back to the Bucs game where they didn't have A.J. Brown or Devonta Smith, and they got mollywopped. The offense looked bad, and it looked like it was just overly complicated. And then you find out that certain players said to the coaching staff, like, hey, can we just simplify this a little bit? We have superstars. We don't need to be super extravagant. They're better than the guys that are across from them. Just get them the damn ball, and let's be smart with the ball. Let's take care of that thing and not be as reckless. Time of possession. There's a whole lot of things this offense is doing that's completely flipped the script, and that's what's making them so dangerous. And what also makes them so dangerous is, like I said before, they have so many damn elite players on the offensive side of the ball. I'm curious. Let me know who you think the Eagles' most valuable offensive player is. And a lot of times, sure, we might just say like a Jalen Hurts because he's the quarterback, and that is usually the most important player on an offense for sure. But there's a lot of other guys that you could say are like incredibly valuable and maybe more valuable at certain points. You could say A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown makes the big play when the big play needs to be made. Go back to the Packers game where he toasts Jair Alexander. You look at the last few weeks, there's the game against the Browns where he rips them apart. He makes the big plays. There's Devonta Smith, who there's a lot of value in having an elite wide receiver 2 that's a wide receiver 1 on a lot of other teams, but your wide receiver 2 doesn't really care if he's getting the ball or not. You ask him about it, he's like, oh yeah, feed AJ, feed Saquon. Like, feed those guys. Like, I'll get it when I get it. We'll figure it out. That's having that kind of calmness on your wide receiver 2 with how good he is. That's so valuable. Saquon Barkley has been absolutely insane as an Eagle. I think he's almost averaging 6 yards a carry or something like that. Thought I saw something like that recently. Maybe it was 5.9 or something, but he's just been so dynamic in everything that Philly could have wanted. This is when you take Saquon Barkley and put him behind an elite offensive line that has really kind of been makeshift, but shout out to Jeff Stoutland, the offensive line coordinator. Saquon is just gashing teams. And I think what Philly really had to figure out was like, how do we maximize our offense's potential and take over games? Because for the longest, it was overly complicated. So really what it is, let's start with Saquon. He's going to get 5-6 yards a touch most times anyway. Let's just gash the hell out of defenses, wear them down, maul them over a 60-minute game. Just take them all the way down into the deep end of the waters, and we'll see if they can swim. That's what the Eagles' offense has started with. But then you have Jalen Hurts, who for the longest was having just turnovers after turnovers after turnovers. And it looks like it's just simplifying everything has made the game process a lot easier for him, where he's not making as many bad decisions. I like that we're seeing him run more. That was what made him so dynamic in 2022 when he had that great season, is the fact that he would take off and run for first downs more often than not. Don't stand in there in the pocket and try to be this perennial pocket passer when your game is predicated off of being athletic and moving around and shifting the line of scrimmage. That is what Jalen Hurts can do. He's a good thrower of the football, for sure, but you can also run at an elite level. So don't try to be boxed into being like this typical pocket passing quarterback when your game allows you to do so much more than that. Hurts being on the run has definitely helped him so much, because what it does is it forces the D lineman to not go so far upfield. They also have to be careful if they lose contain. But then it's the linebackers they usually have to have a spy, but he's probably not fast enough in most cases. The safeties have to peek back to pay attention to the quarterback to make sure he's not taking off. And what happens when you have that? You have A.J. Brown going behind your head. You got Devonta Smith going behind your head. You got these guys crossing in front of you, and you're looking at the quarterback. There's a lot of room for error for defenses when you're facing this inception of the Eagles offense. And I think it just started with simply just let's run the ball more. Be more of a running team. They're number 2 in rushing yards per game. I think they're first in rushing attempts per game. Or at least percentage of the plays. I think it's like 54% runs to like 46% passes. And you don't need to do a whole lot more. You really don't. Hand the ball to Saquon. Get him going up the middle. Get him out in space. Hit AJ on the slant. Hit Devonta Smith on the slant. Hit crossers. That has created so many big plays for them over the last few weeks. Just simple concepts, mesh concepts. Just getting dudes open in space and letting superstars be superstars. So often, offensive coordinators and teams try to make superstars fit into their scheme, when in reality, you just need to put a scheme that basically takes your superstars' abilities and maximizes them. Put them in situations to succeed. A.J. Brown one-on-one, they're taking that chance all day long. You can tell. If he's one-on-one going down the sideline, that ball's going up. Because there's... I want to say, I think AJ has the best rating against one-on-one coverage of any receiver in the league. And that's because, dude, he's so damn fast. He's so damn strong. He's a big body. You can't cover him one-on-one. There's not a corner in the league that can do it. And that's with respect to all these elite corners, but they can't do it. That's not going to happen. He's too big. He's a matchup nightmare. And then you have Devonta Smith, who in space is like a lightning bolt. And then there's Saquon, where you think he's going to get shifty, and then he just runs through your face. And it's just like, what do you do? What do you do? We want to stop AJ? Okay, cool. Well, Devontae's killing us now. You want to stop both the receivers? Good luck doing that, first of all. But then you're going to have Saquon going down your throat. That stuff breaks a defense down when you're not turning the ball over. In the last 3 games, they haven't had a single turnover as an offense. That's amazing. You have no turnovers as an offense. You're not giving the other team possessions. You're going to have a way better chance of winning football games. And in the last 3 games, they're averaging 28 points per game. That Bengals game, which you give a lot of credit to the defense, but the Bengals started out with like a 15-play drive and just went down the field, dink and dunk, dink and dunk, dink and dunk, and scored. They only scored 10 more points the rest of the way, and I don't think they punted. I want to say the Bengals didn't punt for like the longest time, or they had like 1 punt, but they were down by like 20 with that. And that was because they had a fumble. I think they had a pick. Those things flip games on their head. And if Philly can manage to take care of the ball like the way they have, obviously they're not going to not turn the ball over for the rest of the season. There's going to be a pick. There's going to be a fumble. Something's going to happen. But like if they place an emphasis on time of possession, running the ball, being smart with the ball, and taking the shot plays when they're there, and getting creative when you want to get creative every once in a while, those things just make the game easy for an offense. And I feel like Lane Johnson said it best, where he was like, yeah, we basically just told the coaches to let's just simplify it back a little bit. Like we don't need to do all this crazy stuff. We got A.J. Brown over there. You don't need to get all crafty. He's going to be fine. Like, throw him the ball. You got Devonta Smith running underneath. Throw him the damn ball. Like, it's not rocket science. And a lot of offenses try to make football like rocket science. You're not Andy Reid, who's scheming guys open all the time. These guys are going to get open no matter what. So I think just making the game easier on Jalen Hurts, you do that by giving the ball to Saquon Barkley more and just running plays that are more susceptible to the defense, breaking down crossers, slants, posts, things that just mesh everything together for a defense. You make the defense communicate 10 times on one play. There's the chance that somebody screwed up on the communication and somebody's running open down the field. I like what I've seen through these past 3 games. And they played the Bengals, they played the Giants, they played the Browns, and the Browns defense has been getting better. The Giants defense has been pretty solid, in my opinion, pretty much all year long. And then the Bengals defense, which has been kind of a work in progress and was very bad in the beginning of the season for sure. But they manhandled those teams. Like, just destroyed them. That Browns game with the Eagles was really, what was the score, like 20-17? That game was never all that close. Like, that was a game they dominated from the jump. There's the game against the Giants where I think it was like 28-3 or whatever the score was, 28-6, whatever it was. They destroyed them. You go to the Bengals game. They destroyed them. That's what you want to see out of a high level offense, is just annihilating defenses. They're going to play the Jags, and the Jags defense has not been good this year. I would expect them to do more of the same. They should score at least 28 points in that game. They really should. And they should dominate that game as well. And we'll see. Maybe I eat my words tomorrow because I'm making this video on Saturday and the game is tomorrow. And maybe the Jags just come out and just trap game the hell out of them or something. But I don't see it. I really don't. And the Eagles, the offense looks like it's back on track. Like you saw basically from before that, it was like 10 straight games of just what the hell are we doing out there? And it looks like now They finally just meshed it all together, and it's working. And I think that's what they've been looking for this, and I think they found what they were looking for. I think they found the philosophy: feed Saquon, get your stars the ball, don't make it rocket science, let Jalen Hurts be Jalen Hurts, and you're going to win a lot of games. But yeah, let me know in the comments, who do you think the Eagles' best offensive player is? Is it Jalen Hurts? Is it A.J. Brown? Is it Saquon Barkley, Devonta Smith? Hell, Lane Johnson. That's probably the best tackle in football. There's a few guys that you could pick from, and I'm going to be completely honest with you. I don't think there's a wrong answer. Unless you're like Jahan Dotson, because that trades look pretty damn terrible right now. But, you win some, you lose some, but the Eagles' offense looks like it's winning right now. Anyway, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. If you like this kind of content, please like the video. Hopefully, Philly dominates against Jacksonville tomorrow, and I don't look like a dum-dum from this video. But regardless, the offense the last 3 weeks has looked like it's back to its elite fashion. But thanks for watching. I'm done. Peace.